I got a million ways to get it. Choose one.
Choose one.
Hey, bring it back, bring it back. Now double your money and make it stack. I'm on to the next one. On to the next.
Hey YouTube, Cribscore11 here, bringing you a updated deck profile, I suppose. This is my updated Genex deck. I went to my locals this weekend and traded around and got a few cards and actually turned that Genex deck that I uploaded a few days ago into something I'm proud of. It's decently competitive. It does alright, but I guess I'll just get right to it. Genex deck, obviously you need Genex controllers, 3 of them. Make this deck even remotely playable. Next, run 3 Genex worker. Pretty much you can put him on the field, and then if you have something like Furnace or Solar or even Genex Army in your hand, you can play this guy, put him in attack mode, and then send him to the graveyard and get one of those guys out of your hand. So yeah, he's good for getting power monsters on the field really fast. Next, I run 3 Genex spares. I'm considering dropping it down to 2. I've been dead drawing with them a little bit, but Genex spare, if you have another monster on the field, another Genex monster, then his name turns into Genex controller, and you get to sync. So yeah. Next, run 2 Genex Furnace. He's what you use to sync for Genex Thermal. Let's see. If you have a Genex controller on the field, you get to normal summon him without having to sacrifice, so that's a pretty good effect. Next, I run 2 Genex guys. He's good for defense pretty much. You set him face down, he's got 1900 defense, your opponent runs into him. If it's early on in the duel, chances are that they're going to take a little hit on life points, and you can always sacrifice him off later. Next, I run 2 Genex Undyne. Great card. If you play Genex Undyne, you can activate effect and take the other Genex Undyne and send it to the graveyard, and then you get to add a Genex controller to your hand. So it's that's good, and I'll show you a little combo here later on. Next, run 2 Turbines. All Genex monsters on the field gain 400 attack. 2 Genex Army. If he was summoned using a Genex monster, you get to destroy 1 card your opponent controls. Next, run 1 Genex Solar. I'm debating running 2, but I feel like it'd be a little too much, so I might just leave it with 1. Next, run Genex Doctor. You can sacrifice a Fate Except Genex controller and destroy 1 card your opponent controls. A Genex or our Genex Turbo. When he's summoned, you get to add a Genex from your deck to your hand, so it's pretty good. It's like a searcher. 1 Genex Blast Fan. If you special summon, you get to add a Dark type Genex monster from your deck to your hand. And finally, Genex Searcher. If he's destroyed by battle, you get to add a Genex with 1500 or less attack. You get to summon him to the field in face-up attack position. Let's see, next we'll move on to magics. We'll run 1 Monster Reborn, a Nobleman of Crossout, 2 MSTs, 1 Book of Moon. These are all pretty basic cards so far. Dark Hole, Giant Trunade, and Limiter Removal. Next is the trap cards. Run 2 Bottomless, a Torrential, a Negate Attack. I love this card. It's kind of like Waboku and Threatening Roar combined in a way. It's when your opponent attacks, you can activate it and you negate the attack and end the battle phase. So it's kind of better than Waboku and Threatening Roar put together, I suppose. 1 Sakuretsu Armor, 7 Tools of the Bandit, Magic Cylinder, and then my personal favorite for this deck, 2 Ultimate Offering. Allows you to pay 500 life points and you get an extra normal summon per turn. So if you have let's say Genex Furnace and Genex Controller both in your hand, you can summon both of them in 1 turn if you have Ultimate Offering up, and then you can immediately synchro into a Genex Thermal. Which brings me up to the side deck. In my side deck, I run 2 Genex Thermals. Let's see, where's the rest of the Genex stuff in this thing? I run 1 GeoGenex, 1 Genex Ally Axle, Vindicate Argenex, which is probably right now one of my favorite synchros. He can't be targeted by battle, so makes him pretty hard to get rid of unless you bottomless him as soon as he's summoned. Otherwise, he's kind of a pain. 2 Windmill Genex, I managed to pick up another one this weekend. And Genex, which is what you use the your water Genex for. And pretty much when this guy destroys one of your opponent's monsters by battle, you gain that monster's attack and life points. So yeah, that can help. That can be a boost. And then the other synchros I run are Gaia, the Force of the Earth, Dark End, Red Dragon Archfiend, Blackwing Dragon, X-Saber Urbellum, which I actually got a pretty funny story about Urbellum, and then Psychic Life Transfer and Magical Android. So yeah, that is my updated Genex deck, which actually runs pretty decent. And if anybody wants to know, this deck is for sale. You guys can PM me an offer. The only things I'll sell all the Genex synchros, but I won't sell the other stuff like Magical Android and Life Transfer. But all the Genex synchros I'll throw in. So if anybody's interested, shoot me an offer, and I'm sure we can get things going if you're really interested in it. So until then, see you guys later.